Good morning. I love you. And I'm teaching Meonics, and my name is Theodore Cottingham. I am a school. I lead a school. I'm creating a school that creates schools who create a product, not but a person, a love, a creation, a new creation, creators of light, producing light, creating light by channeling light. Channeling light. Being a channel where your mind no more constricts you, controls you, submerges you in its thinking, in its field of purview, its field of purpose to keep you in flesh, keep you roiled up in turmoil, conflict, always seeking a God to serve you or a dollar bill. My purpose is to create angels. Don't think I've ever said that before. Never said that sentence. That sentence, that proclamation, that declaration, a statement so succinctly of what I'm doing. I'm creating angels. You see, if you want to, you can too. You can create an angel that is you. The angel that is you. The original angel that is you. The original you that was an angel coming back into being it again. This is what I'm talking about. I'm creating an angel of the first degree. I'm creating angels by the thousands who create angels by the millions. Because I love. Love has taught me to love love. Love has taught me the difference between love-based love and control-based love. And it's not easy to become a lover. It's not easy because so many people who say they love you, say they care about you, say they're concerned for you, only want to guide you to think like they do. When they think you're out of bounds, unrealistic, not dealing with reality, Jesus didn't seem to let most people's reality control him. I am teaching in a school. This is a lesson in my school of creating angels, my school that lacks nothing, my school that has a campus that looks nothing like yours, but may be situated in a territory that you can visibly see with your five-sense mind. I'm talking about something that's never been done before, never been seen before by anyone on earth. Not like this. I'm going where no man has gone, and I'm paving the way for women. I'm opening the door for women to no longer be used for their body, to perpetuate a human race that's only brutal with each other, where brutality seeks to control. Control seeks to utilize brutality to enforce its means and ways of dominion, wanting to conquer everything in its path, get all of everybody else's dollars, control their thinking, how they dress, what they do, where they go. My friend, I am not interested in leadership that teaches people leadership to do as leaders do today. I stand in the gap. This may sound arrogant, but I'm not an arrogant man if you know me. It takes great humility to lead love, to lead in love, to be love-based. But see, leadership is it's not about being passive. And it's not about being timid. And it's not about being normal. And it's not about being defined by all the things that have defined you in your life up to this moment. If you want eloquent preachers, teachers, an elegant message, I'm not your man. I don't give you comfort. But what I give you is me. If you want to see me in your mirror, I give you my words. I give you my energy. I give you so willingly my vision. I give you so willingly the tools, the path, the pictures, the door you create. Angelhood is not something you go and find. You grow it. You grow into it. Angelhood, angels. Leaving the earth? Not necessarily, but can. Don't you remember? Maybe you've listened to many hours of my teaching. Maybe this is the first one. I draw much from the stories of the Bible. Many of them. But I redefine them. I see them in different light. I see them with different eyes. I see them through my words. My words that have trained me, discipled me, given me vision, opened my eyes to a larger reality. The words that I have channeled. And channeling is at the heart of the school. It is central to the school. And if you learn to operate in this school, you learn to channel. There's no getting around it. It's not optional. You're not limited to a teacher of the flesh standing in the flesh to teach you. Limited to their 5 sense mind. Their neurons. If you want that, go away. Pay your multi-$1,000 tuition and go get what they have and see what it gets you. See what it does for you. See what it does for your life or your peace. Or do you just want that piece of paper? You want a degree because you want a job. You want a job, you want a house, you want a car. I understand all that. I was that. But I'm not that any longer. I'm an energy of peace. I'm an energy speaker, an energy healer, a healer of energy, a displacer of energy. I am uprooting a lot of energy that exists in this world to no longer placate me's. Me in flesh, me the word, me the energy, me of love, a love person. A person not limited to their 5 sense mind. An angel? Not limited to time, space, or gravity. Defined by you. Defined by one place you can find a definition. John 3:8. And if you don't know it, find it and memorize it. Memorize it. Print it out in 10 different versions and put it on your wall, your mirror. Put it in your toothpaste and in your water. Put it in your thinking. The wind blows where it will. You don't know where it comes from or where it goes. The wind. And the trees rustle. And you see the effects of it. And you hear something. The rushing mighty wind. You hear something. The wind. John 3:8 says, everyone who is born again is like the wind. So if you're not like the wind, you aren't born again. Not in the definition of John 3:8. The words in red. Words that supposedly Jesus spoke. I'm telling you, we have a pattern. We have a pattern for not only how to live, we have a pattern for what to become. Jesus did nothing for you that you don't have to do. There is no vicarious atonement. There is no forgiveness of sin. Because there's no sin. There's no sin that exists. Sin? Sin against God? Wait a minute. God? Sin. That whole debacle, this whole idea of pleasing a God, limiting your life, limiting who you sit with, who you have dinner with, how you treat people. You hate people just because of their color? Or you think they wear a funny hat? Or their dress is too long, too short? They have on too much makeup? And you limit them? You shun them? You fool. Hear me well. I'm not interested in placating, appealing to, or appeasing your gods who think God is who controls me. For I love law not. I love love. And I met the difference. And there's no battle. There's no war, except the war on ignorance. And there is no separation from you and God, except what you create in your own mind because of the words of someone else that has told you that you are such and such. And because so many people tell you as you grow up, you are this, you are that, you are to do this, you are to do that. You are to limit who you play with, who you talk with, who you entertain. Not knowing. Angels unaware. Not knowing. Not being aware of angels. Not being aware of the angelic race. The angelic race that we were before we were flesh. Now we're suffering in the experience of our own creation because we are all creators. Hear me well. Delude yourself not again with the delusions, the illusions of reality that think this is real. There are angels on high, angels on earth, angels unaware. You're one. Look in your mirror and see the effective, fervent prayer of a man, not again over you to seek a blessing of a God of patriarchy. I start a new world. He's got off the deep end now, hasn't he? Some would say. Yeah. And I will say, if you think you are born again and you are not experiencing the description in John 3:8, you're deluding yourself. You're choosing definitions of man's five-sense mind over the mind of light, love, joy, peace. Deliverance from ignorance. Deliverance from ignorance. Is that what schools do? Deliver you from ignorance? They teach you ways to be effective, effectual, purposeful, have a purpose-driven church. Purpose, who comes, what the message is, what you tell them, how you constrict them, how you tell them to worship a Savior, experience some kind of vicarious atonement. You tell people who forgives sins, what sin is, how sin came about, why sin came about, and there's a heaven and a hell. I buy that no more. You're ignorant. And I stand in the gap for you who will live love. who will seek light from the remotest place on earth. Inside you. Inside you, there's a burning bush that you can hear if you will listen. A burning bush, a burning brain, a brain inflamed with neurons, energy, flaming energy, a hellhole, center of the earth, molten lava. Oh, gosh. And now you're trying to tap into the geothermal energy, drilling into volcanoes for the earth to have energy so it can sustain itself. But who's going to control that energy? Who's going to reap the benefit? And then die. In growing up as a Christian and being dedicated much of my life to the Christian ethic, the Christian work ethic, the Christian message, the Christian definition of success, the Christian definition of what God wanted as a family. I was tormented. I tried, though. I tried hard. I strived. I was diligent. I was devoted. I was a disciple. I read books, many books. I didn't just read the Bible. I studied the Bible. Hours upon hours, I would link various scriptures, doing my own studies, my own linkages, reading multiple commentaries. You know, I figured if eternity was in front of me and supposedly this idea of eternal life, eternity began at my death, and I was only going to live 70 or maybe 100 years, well, I think I'm going to devote my life to preparing for the next. And I did. I do. But my next life is not limited to earth. Neither is yours. And the development of the Christian story will no more constrain us. Hear me well. I'm a rebel. I didn't seek to be a rebel. I didn't seek to be a revolutionary. I sought to know Jesus and the power of the resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. I bought the Christian message hook, line, and sinker. And I studied and I devoted myself to prayer, becoming a man of prayer, developing a life of prayer, and understanding it was a hell of a lot more than petition, praise, and worship, singing songs, studying the Bible. I began to experience something. I began to experience an energy when I was devoted, desperate. When I became desperate, when the pain of life, no, the pain of separation within me from who I really am. The torment was so great. No Prozac, no chemical, no substance would give me any relief. My favorite time of day, the moment that I looked forward to all throughout the day, was the day that I would lay down in bed and stretch out with my head on a pillow and think, I'm going to have a few moments without pain. I'll be asleep, but there'll be moments I won't be in pain. When you're motivated like that, you become willing to do things you've never done, to seek, to say things, to envision things, to have courage. You begin to open your own eyes with your energy rather than keeping your eyes shut by someone else's energy. A whole lot of people, all they want to do is close your eyes and keep you entranced in the operation of the five sense mind. Jesus came out. Jesus began to learn. He studied what scriptures were available to him. Ostensibly had the book of Isaiah. And one day, supposedly at the age of 30 or so, one day maybe, he gets up, has coffee, walks to the carpenter shop, closes the door for the last time, walks to the religious temple, waits his turn, never belligerent, never arrogant, stands up and says, "Oh, this verse is fulfilled in your hearing this day." You can find it if you care. But see, when you have eyes to see, you begin to see the story is not just him about. The story, the whole Jesus story, the entire Jesus story is not just about Jesus for you to embrace something, for you to believe something, for you to know the historical account. Debate the authenticity? How ridiculous. It's a story, whether it's true or not. Every story has power that you appropriate to that story or not. The story of heaven, the story of hell, the story of Jesus, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, it doesn't change the power of the story. What changes the power of a story is your willingness to open your eyes with what it may convey to you. And as you increasingly, maybe, listen to my words, you may see more being said than you thought at first. You see, there's energy. There's an energy. I don't know what else to call it at the moment. I'm not interested in trying to be spiritual or religious. I'm saying there's an energy that accompanies my flow of words. You see, you can take all these words, common vernacular, parlance of the populace. You can mix them all up, say all kind of things. But mine are transmitted with a love-based love to empower you to see more than you have ever seen with the words of mankind. See into your future, see into your past, see into your present, see into the picture, see into the horizon, the landscape, look into the power, enter the motive. Learn to be less shallow. We've been so shallow, so shallow. The mind wants to procreate. The mind will run you to death. The mind itself doesn't care what you think. It doesn't know right from wrong. It just wants to use you to think, thought, word, and be a regurgitator. And not know the value of your words or who you are, what your origination is, and what you have the capacity to understand and reveal to others in the process of creation, creating you again. You're not here just to have a family, fruitful and multiply in the earth, have dominion over the earth, and then die. Sounds futile to me. Sounds like a road trip. Sounds more like that, what do you call it? The wheel. Like a or something. Goes round and round. Stands in one place, running with all the effort it can summon. We haven't known what to do because we haven't known who we are, because we haven't known how to learn. The stiff-necked blind have taught us to be blind and stiff-necked, stubborn, and stubbornness is a disease. Like always being late, it's a disease. Like religion, it's a disease of the mind. It's like a virus. You can appropriate your power any way you choose. How do you know truth? Are you spending your whole life thinking you know truth because you've been told what truth is? Or do you know? Do you know firsthand? Not just taking somebody's word for it, no matter whether they're a preacher, teacher, pastor, evangelist, preaching a soon coming vicarious atonement, whether they're agnostic or no matter what it is, no matter what label. Let us not label each other so quickly, but let us look into the light Let us go beyond what we see. Remember that verse in Corinthians? Let us no longer see Jesus in the flesh. Worship him in the flesh no more. Worship the flesh man no more. Don't worship. Wait a minute. See the story for what it is, because you are in it. You are in the story. You're not left out. You're not isolated. You're not subject to a pewology. Religion stinks because it's stagnant. Love flows. There is a flow. There is a living flow to love. And true love, love-based love, empowers, reveals, revelates. Oh, I know. You've read a bunch of those Old Testament verses that say, if somebody thinks they're speaking about something invisible and it doesn't come true, all the people get together to stone you. All part of the fear-based system of instilling fear to keep you in line, to keep your word from flowing, to keep you ignorant, keeping you disciples of their words. Teachers of the law, teachers of the Bible, teachers of religion, all the same. I proclaim freedom from religion, freedom from the curse of the separation that man, patriarchy, God worship, that whole framework looms to represent reality with great authenticity, intimidating you to stand in the way. But you can walk through the fiery furnace. That's why the story's there, to see you doing it, not to admire the willingness or guts of somebody else long ago. If you're ready to be who you really are, you will walk through a fiery furnace, sometimes many times, sometimes multiple times in a day, because you're learning to stand up. This is what I am creating. I am creating. Or are you creating you again to no longer be the feeble-minded, gullible, empathic, overly sensitive, hurt, wounded, abused, rendered to the shadows, silenced? How many thousand million have been silenced by the church? Silenced. How many women have suffered in pain? Pain, thinking they needed to serve their God, serve a man. According to what some leader thinks, some man. I stand in the gap. I used to read that over and over and over many times. I look for a man to stand in the gap. And I thought, many times I've wept, many times. And I thought, I'm willing. I don't know how many times, gazillion times, I said, here am I. Here am I. Your servant heareth. Here am I. I'll go. I'll stand. I don't know what it means, but I'm willing. It's not that I have guts. I just believed there was more. More to the story. There was more to see. There was more to do. There's more to be. Living your life in a cubicle. I know what it is to work for years in a cubicle on the 48th floor of the Williams Tower in Tulsa, Oklahoma as an internal auditor. People telling you when to be there, when to leave, what to do, how to do it. Berating you sometimes. Hoping to get a little bit of a raise. At review time, where they reviewed you. What a hell of a way to live. Live. Oh, they have a good retirement program. There's more to life than meets the eye. There's an entire cosmos. There are multiple universes out there. And I'm going to one nut. I'm going wherever I please. Because I, freedom, have become the freedomer. The freedomizer. Who loves freedom. To know what love is. Love-based leadership empowers all, not just a few. So everything about your leadership, your religion, your politics that takes people and puts them in a caste system and prioritize them so that one can be in a 1%, other people down here supporting and all the inequity that exists stinks. How many Einsteins are there? That don't even know how to read very well. Probably millions. You see, I can no longer say love empowers because so much of love is so tainted. Most of love that we have known, that we have experienced, has been control-based. Full of conditions. If you love me, you'll do this. If you love me, you keep my commandments. If you love me, you have sex. If you love me, you have my children. If you love me, if you will do this, and that. My friend, those days are over. You may not see it yet. You may not feel the effects, but the tectonic plates are moving. The glaciers are changing their form. And let me tell you, if you begin to love love, you begin to move and change your form. And you will no longer be limited to love-based law, because love will no longer constrain you to be in the image of a binary gender. You'll no longer be populating the earth with flesh. I am no longer tormented with a God story or a devil story or a story of heaven and hell to come. I know how to use the stories, not. I learned how to glean from them and see what they are saying, to see myself in them. The Jesus story is for you to see you. It's not to accept him. Jesus didn't establish a denomination, a church, or religion, a temple. No, he went and taught on the hillside. The religious people didn't want him. They couldn't control him. They couldn't control his words. They couldn't control what he learned. And what he learned, he suffered with. You begin to see the needless suffering. You begin to open your eyes to truth, to love-based truth, not control-based truth. You begin to learn to love itself. Love-based love. It's not a belief system. It's an existence. It's a consciousness. It's a consciousness of creation that creates creators. Love-based leadership creates those who will read John 3:8 and see themselves in the story. And begin to see John 14:12. If you believe in me, you'll do the things I do and more. And quit being constricted by the commentaries. Quit being put under those who think they operate as an anointed person in a fivefold ministry. They're ignorant. They are ignorant. And I stand in the gap for you, common people who never thought you were a leader. You never thought you were in the story. You thought you were sidelined. You were a cog in the wheel. You were to work in a cubicle. You were to simply be a cog in someone else's machine. My friend, there is life. And there is life more abundantly. There is an abundant life. But you don't get it by giving your money to a preacher, a denomination, a sect, a cult. If you want to know love, you become it. And this is my message. And it takes guts. It takes time, effort, energy, devotion, discipline. Because you're ripping your flesh apart. Not, but the framework that you have existed in, a 3D world. But it's a man's world no longer. The virgin word will be restored to its rightful place. The virgin word, the existential word, the eternal word, the word of power, the word of love. But see, every time I say it now, not the word of control-based love, not the power of the five-sense mind limited to your cognitive powers will no longer create the crown I wear. I will wear mine. Thank you. My crown? My crown? Yes, I will wear my crown. My crown of thorns. My crown of thorns? No. Let's wait a minute. What are we talking about? The web work? The web of your neurons that sit throughout your brain? That crown? I defeat your crown. If you want to control me, control my people, control women, have your money, your sex trade, your infernal politics, your conclave, your cathedrals, controlling people with fear, fear of hell, fear of excommunication, fear of the wrath of God that, of course, you impose. I defeat death. Or do I defeat ignorance? Your apostasy, your belligerence, your separation, your desire to control, because I desire to empower. And I bring light to lit love. I bring love to lit light. To whoever has, more will be given. When you're ready to accept, when you're ready to no longer be limited to the words in your Bible or your vocabulary, when you're ready to be no more limited by the textbooks of mankind's mind in all their accredited institutions with all their enormous, egregious tuitions. What do I charge? What does love charge? What does love charge to love love? What does love demand of you? Anything? When you begin to see love, another story unfolds. Another story is born. And you become pregnant. Mary, Ralph, Joseph, Betty Sue, Grace. Pregnant with what? A new story. Pregnant with what? The Word. Pregnant. Not physically pregnant where your tummy is extended. You become pregnant in the temple, not made with hands. It's not a crown of blessing to keep you in control. It's the crown of light, love, and peace. Freedom. The proclamation of freedom this day I proclaim again. And you will find it throughout my words multiple times if you're not afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid to learn. Learn what? Learn who you are. Learn that you're an angel. Learn that you were. And that you roamed. You roamed? Yes, you flew. Flew? Like Superman? Wonder Woman? Walk through walls? Feed the 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread? Raise the dead? Calm the storm? You see, if you can do those things are just examples to show you your capacity. What are you going to do about the war in Ukraine, Gaza, Lebanon? What about all the brutality? Chad, Congo? It's not just what you can do, it's who you become. To be, again, the eternal you, no longer seeking salvation. It's not necessary. Salvation is a concept. Heaven, hell is a concept. A concept created with words. Words that are created with energy, motive. What's your motive? Are you willing to heal people this day? No matter what they look like, no matter what they smell like, no matter what they wear. Even if they're naked, will you no longer use their body? Will you bring a robe of light and put it around them? Come sit at my table. Eat my food. I'll put out the finest for you. Let me love you. Bring the balm of Gilead. Bring the precious ointment. But you're no longer rubbing it over the feet of Jesus, some icon of a story. You begin to feel the story because you enter the story. You enter a reality not limited to your mind to see wherever you are. You can do all these things. This is why I exist, why I have a school, why I changed the name of the school so many times. The school of me, the school of the inner voice, the school of God, the school of love, light, and peace. I've called it multiple things multiple times over these 21 years. At the moment, I call it Theodore Cottingham, School of Love-Based Leadership. Because I don't care. Don't come here if you just want to learn leadership, to grow your business, to extract the principles of the Bible, to have more money, more toys, more marbles, and pay your people as little as you can get away with. Stay away from me. I met the master, not I met love. I met love. I met love that began to teach me love. I met love that began to caress me in the wee hours, kiss my lips with words coming through my voice that I gave breath too. That I recorded, transcribed, read, reread, kept. I love you. I hope you're getting this message. The living word. If you're not hearing, communicating, feeling, becoming, love-based love, you're missing the boat. What boat? The boat that will get you on the other side? Instantaneously? With no travel time? You get in the boat and you're on the other side? Behind the veil. But when you're on the other side, you can look back and see there was no veil. The veil that has held us back is the one that other people have told us exists, but you can walk through it. Just like Alice in Wonderland. Go down the yellow brick road. Finally find out who's behind the veil, the curtain. What God is making all of those rumblings, instilling all of the fear. It was just a story. And you created the characters from the story. You created the players. You created the suffering. You created the torment. We've experienced so much torment because of our ignorance. Pardon me. Okay, I love you. Gosh. I see it's been an hour. Thank you for letting me share this hour with you. An hour of love. An hour not of rebellion, but an hour of revelation. Will you spend an hour? Will you set your alarm at 2 a.m.? I did for years. And that's why I have a school. And that's why I share with you. This is how, why I share with you. I am a school. I am a school of I am. That you can begin to see, feel, and become. That you begin to experience where you're no longer a spectator. You're no longer someone seeking salvation. You're no longer accepting a theory. Learn to be the Word. The Word can never be canonized. It's impossible. The Word, the flow of energy, the communication of another mind, of another world, another planet, another cosmos, another existence. You enter it. And this, my friend, the process of becoming John 3:8-ed. Pardon. You become I love you. You have the capacity. Create your confidence in you. Not embracing some theory of heretical thought. Pardon me. You see, love. Love is costly. Love is humble. If you're listening to leaders who aren't humble, no matter what they say, they aren't love-based. They're control-based. And they will love you and cater to your wants and wishes as long as you please them, as long as you look up to them, as long as they provide you a position of power in your life. I invite you to dethrone all the powers in your life that empower you to remain under them, to remain under law, under their definitions, under their word, and seek to become the living word, the John 3:8-ed word, doing the things that Jesus did and more in commerce, in life. My friend, you can experience the resurrection before you die. To become who you really are. That is the moment of birth, the new birth. That's when you become born again, when you experience the resurrection. The story of Jesus, love communicating with me. Ask many questions. So I'll try to wrap this up with a few for you. Did Jesus die on the cross, as so many think and preach? Or did he ascend into the heavens from the cross? There was no physical body remaining to be found. I ask you, and you will answer. And this, my friend, may be valuable in you seeing the application of the story for you to become born again, to become John 3:8, and the wind blows where it will. to find love in a new way this day. Please and thank you to all of you who will. Learn a new way to live. Channel love. Love, light, and peace. And no longer be afraid of a stray word, an errant idea, a faulty sentence. Because as I've mentioned a number of times before in my channeling, love said, do not be afraid of making an error. Love said, if you err, I will come caressingly correct you. That's the love I know. That's the love-based love I teach you with a love, so that open your eyes and channel love that is love-based. Consider this idea. If you err, I will come. I will come caressingly correct you. The tenderness, the humility. I'm looking for love-based leaders, not. I don't know any. But I'm hoping you will create one. You. And that you will create a school for the creation of love, light, and peace. That you will learn to teach. That you will seek to let love flow through you. And that you will surrender to speak the first-person words of love-based love. That you will utilize technology. You won't be afraid to live stream on YouTube. You won't be afraid to stand up. You won't be afraid of the comments of fools that want to body shame you or say you need to look like this, that, or the other. You need to do something. You need to be a certain type of business. Control is so rampant. Falsehood is epidemic. Ignorance, pandemic. Ignorance has covered this earth a long time. And there has been a few lights, maybe a few, maybe one, maybe many. But light is here to stay not. Light is here to resurrect love, the love-based kind. And this is why I'm here. I'm Love in Two Shoes Cottingham, asking you to paint your wagon with love. Change what your neocortex is programmed with. Change your life. Be the real you. Learn love from another source, not those who want to use your body, your mind. My name is Theodore Cottingham, in love with you all. My website is theodorcottingham.com. See a new picture of you and what you do with your life now and what time it is and the opportunity before you. Please and thank you. You know how to reach me. You know who I am. You know where I am. Be reclusive no more. Live love. Open your mouth. Pick up your pen. Write me. Write love. Create courses. Open your kingdom, your land. See the vast opportunity before you. And it's not like anything anybody else has painted on your canvas. And I'm asking you, let no one else determine what's on the canvas of your mind but you, where you begin to learn love. And start with a new canvas where there's no hubris, there's no arrogance. A new canvas where there's no unforgiveness because you forgive each other. All those who have hurt you, abused you, intentionally or not. Forgive them. Because you're going to a new place. When you decide to create, and when you decide to be who you really are, you begin to enter a process where you begin to create the Creator again. That's you. And you will fornicate no more with a blessing of other to populate the earth or keep it here. Because you know there's more to the story. And you begin to be willing to write it, share it, teach it, flow it, and be the innovators. No longer subject to AI. No longer subject to the Bible. When you're ready, be a John 3:8er. An angel in waiting no more. An angel in purgatory no more. An angel in hell no more. An angel who takes the clothes off of religion and opens the eyes to see the portal of life, love, and joy, eternal peace, the creatorship of one, where you're the creator of you again, is before you. I've said much this day. Value these words, please. I gave my life for them. Or will you give your life for yours this way? The choice is yours. You chose to eat from the tree of good and evil, didn't you? You wanted to know. Now eat from the tree of life. Become the knowledge. Cultivate the garden of creation. Prune all those thorns away from your crown. And be the jewels made up for no other man, no other God. Becoming into being, birthing who you really are. I go. Thank you, love. Love each other. Laugh. Enjoy the process. No one rob your joy. It's your energy for their love or their. Be the real you. This is a leadership that I lead. My name is Theodore in Eureka Springs. I walk the streets most every day. Go down to a little coffee shop and have a mocha almost every day. A lot of people know me. I'm asking you to know you, not in the framework of another God, but who lives love, creates it. Thank you. Time to go. See you later. Share these words. Create your school. Live love. Be the born again lover of love and lead. Thank you.